Hey, this is Drew Baird from Moon Audio, and I'm really excited today to talk about the new closed-back design from Focal, the Stellia. When Focal came to visit us a few years ago to introduce us to the ELR and the Utopia, they'd asked me one question at the end of our meeting. They said, after we've come out with these two benchmark products, what do you think would be next for us? I said, it's been a long time since we've had a true reference caliber closed-back design. The last one that I can remember that was really state-of-the-art was the Sony MDR R10. That was back in the 90s. There are some good closed-back headphones out there. The Fostex TH900, the Sony MDR Z1R, but there just really isn't a true reference caliber closed-back headphone out there. So I said if they could come out with a unique and really incredible closed-back design, they would rule the marketplace. Well, if we remember, I guess it's about 6 months ago, they came out with the Elysia, which was essentially a play off of the Clear that I was told by Focal. It would have the same dynamics, same resolution, same punchy bottom end. It's a very level, flat-sounding headphone from top to bottom, but it really didn't give me what I was hoping for out of Focal with a closed-back design. Well, little did I know that they were still working on what I had asked for, and that's the Stellia. Is it a Utopia? No. Is it a closed-back Utopia? Yes. So let's talk about the design aspects of the two headphones. Both utilize a Beryllium driver. There are some slight differences. It's the same W sandwich design. It's a little bit of a stiffer surround on the closed-back design to deal with the forces going on in a closed-back enclosure. This is basically an infinite baffle design when we're talking about speaker design, in that it's open air on both sides. The grill here relieves the pressure from the back side of the driver. The grill here releases the pressure from the front side of the driver. There's no impedance on the driver from air on front to back. A little bit different on a closed-back design. So there is a vent or a port where you see the flame design here. There's a little grill. Essentially, this relieves the back wave pressure of the driver. This is a true closed-back design. There is a slight bit of leakage because of the port, but it's very small. And it's not the same way a port on a speaker uses. A port on a speaker will add to the bottom frequency range of a speaker, where in this case, everything is handled on the inside of the cup. They've created a pyramid scheme on the inside to deal with reflections and refractions of the back wave of the drivers, reflecting off the inside of the cups. And essentially what this has done to the sound in comparison to the Utopia. The Utopia, I would say, has a much deeper sound stage, whereas the Stellia, the sound stage is a little higher, front to back, top to bottom, but not as wide. Still sort of sound around your ear versus the deeper depth of the Utopia. The sound signature of the two headphones is quite similar to my ears. Obviously, the difference in spatial parameters of the sound around your head is a little bit different, but I would say the top end and the bottom end are very close. In comparing the Stellia to the Elysia was a lot flatter sounding in my opinion. The Elysia on the top end and the bottom end are a little more V-shaped, if you will. A little more exciting on the top end, a little more bottom end oomphed over the Elysia. I would have expected there'd be a lot more bass from the Elysia, but honestly I feel the bass in the Clear is a little bit stronger. I prefer the Clear over the Elysia, but I prefer the Stellia over the Clear. I would say the Clear, the Elysia, the ELR, and even the Massdrop ELAX are a bit on the warmer side. Because of the Beryllium, I find that both these headphones are a little more forward sounding. I would not say bright, but they are a little more forward sounding. The Utopia may be a little more bass than the Stellia, not by a long shot. But what this gives you is the ability to take your Utopia on the go. It's a closed back Utopia. I still prefer this. This is still my top of the line, but I really, really enjoy this as an on-the-go headphone. And I can see myself taking this a lot of places I wouldn't take this. So the Stellia connection system shares the same connectors that are used on the Elir, the Clear, and the ELR. So if you've got cables for those headphones, they're going to be able to be reutilized with the Stellia. The Utopia connectors are a one-off. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed. I would have enjoyed to have seen the Utopia connectors on the Stellia since it's supposed to be basically the top of the heap in the Utopia line. They also didn't use the carbon fiber yokes. They're using the same style of yokes that are used on the Elysia, Elir, and Clear. They've been anodized. The leather is probably one of the most supple leathers I've ever felt. Almost as soft as the Ultrasone Edition series. Some of the lambskin leather on those are the softest I've ever felt. I really enjoy the comfort of these. You'll also notice on the cups, this is a stainless steel grill that is encapsulated over the same leather material that's used on the band. Very sexy. I know I've seen some folks online that either hate or love the looks. Obviously, it's a personal preference. I think this is one of the best looking headphones in a long time. I love the Utopia, but black's a little too boring for me. I really enjoy the looks of the Stellia. The Stellia is a little more efficient and easier to drive than the Utopia. Any of your devices can drive this. I haven't had a whole lot of problems with devices driving the Utopias, but obviously we're talking about driving to peak performance. These are a lot easier to drive to peak performance. And using these with your phone or a Cord Mojo or an Stellia current digital audio player, not a problem. Very easy to drive. So let's talk about Moon Audio cables and what do I recommend. Because it's a Beryllium driver, I want a tad smoother sound on the top end, and I still want to add a little more fuller bottom end weight to the headphone. I want more bass. So Black Dragon version 2 or Black Dragon Premium, just like the Utopia, are my recommendation. Whereas on the Iliar, the Clear, and the Elysia, I always recommend the Silver Dragon because of their warmth. It adds more detail, more clarity, and more top end. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick video on the new Stellia headphone. Please go to our website, moon-audio.com, and go to the blog section. I've gone into a lot more depth and detail about the new Stellia headphone and how much I really like it.